Getting Rowdy. To Tame a Burly Man, Book 5, by Frankie Love. Narrated by Scott Rose and Ayla Arian. 1. Jennings. The seats are packed, the murmuring of hundreds of people serving as our background noise. The hometown crowd, huh? Danny says as he slaps me on the back. Nothing like knowing everyone you grew up around is here to watch you and remember every mistake you make today. The solution is not to make any mistakes, Danny. Isn't it simple? Easier said than done. He scratches the hair under his hat. You're the perfect one. I think they keep me here because they need someone to bumble around for comic relief. Ramblin' Randy's Rodeo has long been a fixture in Burly and its surrounding counties. It's a traveling show, going about and giving a bit of that Old West flavor to the people. Danny and I are the bull riders, but the rodeo has more than that. Lots of horse riding tricks, making them dance, a petting zoo for the youngins, and of course, clowns in cowboy hats. You can't forget the clowns in cowboy hats. It's what Danny is. He just doesn't wear any makeup and tries to ride bulls with the rest of us. And I remind him of this fact every time I think it'll be funny to see him get riled up. He doesn't really hold it against me. There's a showmanship to it all. I may be one of the best bull riders in our little circus, but rodeo has always been this weird blend of performance and competition. You need a bit of variety, not just everyone being as perfect as possible. To people who don't have any Old West in them to understand, I often compare it to professional wrestling, with a whole lot more beef and a whole lot less spandex. We aren't the same, but we're definitely cousins. A big part of that difference is that I'm riding that bull for real. Hard to get an angry cow to go along with a script, what with it being about a ton of angry beast who doesn't understand the concept of performance beyond what limited training we can give it. And Danny's right about the stakes being higher today. This time the show is in Burly itself, where Danny and I and Danny's sister June were born and raised. June. Just thinking of her gives me goosebumps. Think you've got enough layers under there, buddy? I say as I watch Danny button up his shirt. It's cold. And it's dangerous. We ought to be out there in, leather jackets instead of these rhinestone shirts and dungarees. But leather jackets are for bikers and not us, I guess. I grunt in agreement. This is dangerous work, but damn, it's a thrill. It's what brought me here in the first place, and liking everything else beyond the bull riding makes it all the more fun for me. All bundled up, Danny checks himself out in the mirror. He's looking good and ready to go. He then takes off his hat and sits it down on the table. Still don't get how your ritual ends up with you not puking all over the bull. Calms my nerves, Jennings. You know more than anyone that bull riding is way more about keeping your head in the game than strictly about muscle and balance. He heads toward the door, and in comes a similar face, though much prettier. Junebug Jenkins, a recent addition to our little traveling circus, and a long-standing crush of mine. She looks up at me with those sparkling blue doe eyes of hers, and I can't help but instantly fall in love with her all over again. Out to assert dominance over the bull with a pre-match beef hot dog? She nudges her brother as he passes. You know it. They're close siblings. I kind of understand it, having 4 very close brothers of my own. No sister, though, so these two have a different dynamic than I'm used to. For instance, my brothers never really tried to gatekeep my chastity. Danny leaves us, and June says, Hello there, Jennings. Her eyelashes flutter. She has such a bubbly personality, and I love it so damn much. She joined us on our tour last year when she got out of high school. She had the performer's itch and the skills a lot of girls in Burly pick up. A horse girl, she knows a lot about guiding them, more than just from between point A to point B, and is one of the rodeo's newest and hottest acts. She's a barrel rider, riding fast through an obstacle course and impressing the crowds with her skill. Given that a lot of them know horses themselves, that really does mean something. Hello there, Junebug, I say, a smile on my face. Oh, you know I don't like it when you call me that. But you don't seem to mind it when everyone else calls you that. Yeah, but you're different, Jennings. I'm fine with them seeing me as that charming little girl. Maybe I want you to see me as more than that. She's also forward as hell, and I kind of like that. Danny would have my head, though. Guy can turn vicious when people look at his little sister wrong. He promised his parents he'd look after her when she joined him on the rodeo circuit, and he took that promise to heart. But I don't think she's ever looked at anyone besides me. I'd never do anything to hurt June. Unfortunately, Danny doesn't seem to get that. He gives me angry looks sometimes when I talk to his sister. It's kind of sad, like he doesn't trust me even though we've been best friends for 10 years now. It's getting harder to avoid that conflict now that June is 19 years old and has every right to be her own woman. Of course, almost every freshly stamped adult deals with that period where your guardians don't want to stop guarding you, to your annoyance. Dad and I had a brief clash about it, just like he did with most of my brothers, but I guess we're blessed that he has faith in us not to do anything stupid. I mean, getting on angry, but it's a Burly thing, and I think Dad understands why I have to do it. June sighs, looking around the room. Can I ask you for some help? I usually bug Danny, but he's off getting his hot dog, and I kind of want to get this done before gravity starts pulling the zipper in the other direction. Zipper? She turns around, reaching for a zipper on the back of her dress. She's in a frilly dress that wouldn't look out of place on a square dancing floor. It shows off a lot of her curves, and, well, I always have a hard time not staring at them. The dress, combined with a hat, a pair of boots, and a denim jacket, is her usual outfit when hitting the dirt with her trusty steed, Philia. Can't get this up. I think my tits have grown another cup size when I wasn't looking, the wonderful accursed things. I laugh. Zip me up, Jennings. It'll stay fastened once it's up all the way. I'm too much of a gentleman to deny her, my hand sliding up her back. God, she feels just right. So soft through the fabric. My imagination runs wild imagining being able to touch her, to feel her, to enjoy her without any clothes between us. I urge the zipper up to the top, hitting its little protective latch. Thank you kindly, sir, she says, fluttering her eyelashes at me. Maybe sometime soon I'll let you help me take it off. I think I'd like that, June. God, she's giving me a boner just by looking at me. This isn't out of nowhere. Hardly. I've been Danny's friend for 10 years, and I've watched June grow from Junebug into a real woman. For the longest time, our age difference made acting on any feelings we may have shared wrong, but someone should have told her that. June has always been a motivated girl, always knew what she wanted. 2 years difference was never enough to stop her, and ever since she turned 18, it really shouldn't have stopped me either. But there's the whole Danny thing. Her big brother is a man I respect, even if I never let him know it. And at the same time, I also respect June as a woman. She should be the one to make her own decisions, and her decision really seems to be me. We're still close. She doesn't create any distance after I finish zipping her up. She's inches away from my face. It's invoking those quiet fantasies I had of our little flirtations becoming so much more than they are. And she wants it too. She's wanted it forever. I think we've just been teasing this tension between us for a while now, especially since June joined us on the rodeo circuit. Always seeing her smile, all dressed up, cute as a button, and knowing that she wants me, there's only so much a man can take. I think instinct gets the better of me. It's just something that happens. My lips go for hers, and it's an oh-so-sudden peck. And it's not one she withdraws from. She leans into it. She throws herself into me, and I can't help but embrace her back. I've crossed a line here, and I don't think I'm ever going to be able to step back from it.
2. June. Did I just do what I think I just did? Because it feels like I did. Jennings Rowdy was the first crush I had on a boy. When the hormones of puberty hit me and started suggesting that maybe boys were more than a nuisance who tried to put worms in my hair, my mind fixated on him. He'd come over to hang out with Danny and do the usual boy stuff.